here we are once again at the Domain Gaming and Blades in the Dark. Last time, after torching the building where many victims had fallen to ever-virulent plague, it was Battered Crow, or Nathan, who encountered an old friend who had succumbed to its nature, and taking on his duty as a warden, saw that the body was disposed of, while Sasha made her first report to Commander Cleland about the involvement of both Gaz and the Pale Lady, who in turn also has, as of recently, somewhat disappeared. However, we're going to roll the clock back as we begin once again, and as Gaz falling through into the lower levels of the building makes good his own escape from the location in question. So, Gaz, as you look up to where your cohorts are making good their own escape before the figure that was shambling about upstairs was revealed to them, the floor has given way beneath you, and the only way out seems to be through a partially collapsed basement wall. That swarm of rats in the next level down.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah. So, I guess just trying to... Do I have to, like, bust through this wall, or can I fit through it?
You can fit through it, yeah. It's partially collapsed, and that red, almost flesh-like vines somewhat extending around the edge.
I have a fine hand weapon, which I'm just gonna say is like some sort of like machete, and it's like almost like the savannah, just like cutting down the vines as I run towards them.
Remember, there is a technical name for that. It's called meat moss.
Meat? Oh.
It's...
How could I forget?
As you hack at it, you realise this is old as it gives way, it almost dissolves in very, very, at this stage now, very dry, and scatters this almost powder-like substance over the floor as it collapses. Any attempts to touch it means that points of it disintegrate.
I will do my best to not breathe any of that in, but yeah. Do you need me to roll something here?
Up to you. Let's just do a roll to navigate out, see how it goes.
Okay. Could we use a prowl roll?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Alrighty. I do have to ask the question, how can this go wrong? Just being too slow to escape the rats?
Not necessarily. There is something I have in mind, but we'll see how you do.
Alrighty. That's why I asked the question. I assumed it wasn't going to be good.
As you go through the darkness, using walls and feeling the way ahead with the edge of the flat of the machete, you begin to make your way back up through to one of the buildings further down, where all these basements seem to be interconnected down the terrace of houses, and finding an old staircase which hasn't seen use in probably decades. Creaks. You feel the wood bow beneath your feet as you rise back up to the street level once again. And as you crack open a trapdoor, like dust rains down into the cellar as you see two heavy pairs of heavy boots walking through the house that you are now in.
I hear or see?
You see them.
Okay.
Judging by the size, one belongs to a man, one to a woman.
Alrighty. And I'm like slowly going up this set of stairs so I can only see the boots at this point?
Yeah, it's through this little trapdoor, so it's sort of eyes through the tiny little gap.
And are they just standing there? Or are they walking back?
They're walking through.
Okay, I don't want to confront whoever that is right now. So I'll wait until they've gotten a sufficient bit past, and then I'm gonna try to prowl past them again.
Oh, okay, I'm going to say, yeah, go for it. Make a desperate action.
Alrighty.
Oh. As you duck out, opening up the trapdoor, rolling out as you hear the feet going upstairs, you duck across the darkness of this room and force your way out of an old window. It does open up and back out to the street level. On the door outside, you see two things. The first, more obvious as it catches in the breeze, is the rosette of a official imperial seal, which has been pinned to the door. The second is a much more hastily constructed and carved into the wood itself of the door frame sigil.
And what's the sigil of?
It's almost kind of the way it's been carved. It's almost like a reversed 4. So it's the kind of goes the lines don't quite connect up. So let me just do a little. Of course, I don't have a pen.
I do have one minor question for Basilisk, actually.
Yep.
Your first prowl roll only had 1 die. Your second one has 2.
I pushed myself on the second one.
Okay. Sorry, I missed that point. Okay.
I forgot to say it. I did
So
add
it's
the
sort of
stress.
7. Yeah. So it's like that. It's very kind of hastily scratched in.
Kind of.
Alrighty. Can I see where the others are?
Not at this point. The way that this has brought you out, they are now back and around the corner, further down the line of terraces.
guess I'll just try to walk over to where they are. I'm trying to think of what like the clipboard like alternative, the clipboard equivalent is in this situation. Could I have the documents of like, I wonder if we had any of this in writing, like this like situation. Could I just like have a sheaf of papers as I'm just
Ooh.
like looking down and flipping through them as I'm just walking towards the door?
I'm going to say limited effect because you are technically in custody of 2 officials. At the moment, you're on your own.
Mm-hmm. That's
So
fair.
yes, you do have the documentation, but you're not with the people that you should be, and a curfew is in effect.
All right, so I'm just gonna walk forward, just try to go back to where they are.
As you round the corner, you see a very sturdily constructed vehicle. 2 horses pulling the carriage in question, and a 3rd figure standing beside it. Long coat flutters in the breeze slightly. Wide-brimmed hat that rain drips down the front of. And that same seal seems to be affixed to the belt.
All right, I'm just gonna have this sheaf of papers and I'm just gonna walk with purpose over to where I think the rest of the gang is right now.
And as you do as you walk, the figure catches sight of you. You see him turn, still concealed by shadow. You can't make any features out at this point, but what you certainly can do is you see the hand go to the waist and take a grip, likely on a pistol or flintlock or something of that description.
I'm gonna have the sheath of papers in one hand. I'm just gonna hold the other one up and So do I just see this one person?
You see the one person, but yes, they're likely affiliated with whoever was inside.
And would I know that they are not like affiliated? So this seems to be they're stepping on the toes of the spirit wardens in this case, right?
They're something else entirely.
Okay. Trying to figure out what's the best approach to bluff my way in here. I hold up the sheaf of papers and I was sent out for documentation. I don't know who you need to talk to, but I swear I'm here on official business, so just let me through so I can get to what I need to do so I don't get my name chewed out, alright?
Or maybe a check limited effect desperate action.
Could we make that a command roll? I'm commanding obedience with my force of personality. Because I wasn't like, oh, come on, help me out with this. You help me, I'll help you. I'm like, look, let me through. I'm just trying to make it so I can get through the end of the day, my guy. I'm not offering him anything. I'm not trying to sway him. I'm not like camaraderie. It's not like it's not like it's Steve from accounting that I had a beer with. I'm just.
I know, and it's what I'm musing on. Is it might be that you have to push yourself a limited effect because with who these people are, trying to command them is going to be a 0 effect.
Oh, that's great. Is there a devil's
You mean
bargain?
Jeremy.
Wrong character.
Is there a devil's bargain in this circumstance?
Oh, there's always a devil's bargain.
Oh.
Okay, so you can take that bonus die, but it's going to increase heat. Or what's the equivalent of heat? By 2. It's heat by 2.
So, what do you mean by bonus die? Wouldn't that increase the effect instead of pushing myself? Or can those stack?
So. Oh yes, it's push yourself or take a devil's bargain. So yeah, you can. So yeah, you can have that additional effect,
right,
but it will increase the heat.
Alrighty. Yeah, I'll take that. It's annoying that you can't hit X on the boxes. You have to hit cancel. So limited effect, desperate action.
Oh, as the figure jumps forward, grabs you, swings around and pushes you up against the side of the cart, snatches the papers out of your hands, examines them, occasionally looking up to keep an eye on you as well, back to them, and takes from the sideboard runner of the cart a lantern which sits there. And is sort of on the edge of just incinerating the papers. Fights against it, but pockets them, and you are advised to return to wherever you call home. But I'd like you to remove the official documents from your sheet.
Okay. So it's just this guy, right?
Just the one, yeah.
Listen, we tried the easy way. We gave it the old college try. I would like to skirmish this man. At this point, I cannot imagine Gaz just walking home.
Zero effect desperate action.
Okay. Is this limited effect?
No, you got to push yourself a limited effect.
Yeah. 0 effect.
Okay.
0 effect. You're
right.
up against
counterpoint.
This guy.
He is off guard because he just told me to leave and he just got these papers. I feel like he's like, oh, this is the end of the interaction. If there was ever a time to like go for it. Because he's like, oh, I gave him the good thing because I was gonna arrest this man, but now he can go free. He's indebted to me. So he's like, ah, da-da-da-da. He obviously doesn't turn his back on me because he's not that much of a slacker, but I think this would be limited and not no effect.
Counts that. Tier 6.
That's a great argument.
Imperial military. Oh god. That's the only thing I can think of.
Not quite, but equal to.
I was gonna say, that's the only thing I know that's tier 6 is Imperial military. Consider your next options carefully.
I've considered, and all the options are bad.
There's...
I got a 6 and a 2.
And I'm assuming you pushed?
Yes.
So you need to push yourself for desperate action. So sorry, for limited effect. Yeah. What do you do?
I just like Gaz sighs. Can I not get the? Okay. He turns around and then he just spins right back around and just clocks him to the side of the head, or attempts to.
You manage to get one punch in. As the figure stumbles, hat falls down, and you see this figure from the street light, from a flickering street light. Look back up at you. You now notice there's one eye, the other one covered by an eye patch, large scar that runs through it. But that eye patch decorated with an imperial seal, the imperial sigil. As they stumble, and I will say,
is this a port where I could run past them?
You can run, yeah.
Okay. Again, would this be with no effects?
No, this one, I'd say this is a regular normal. You're just trying to run away.
I don't have any more stress to use. I got a 4.
And as you do, the figure stands back up, picks the hat up out of the rain, off the street, and this time just watches you go as they draw the pepperbox revolver, point it, aiming at you, and then just makes the sound of going. Holds to say again. He has seen you, and your pressure is now at 1.
Awesome.
Which is the equivalent to wanted level.
I'm sorry. I'm not good at making good decisions. So do I manage to meet up with the others?
Not at this point. With this hold up, as you emerge around the corner, you see the building emanating an orange glow as it's put to the torch.
Awesome. Gaz looks at it and thinks, did I do that for nothing? He's probably punched people for less.
Yeah. As you see curtains on the street begin to open as people look out to see this building. As flames begin to lick outside of the windows, the interest begins to arise. Bluecoats begin to arrive on the scene, and with that, we will call Gaz's moment there. As you disappear off into a darker, secluded alley where you can make good your own escape. So if you want to take a couple of downtime actions, we'll jump back to the others if you just make those rolls. I'm assuming you want to relieve stress.
Yeah, a little bit.
Nice. As a few days roll by, and during which time Nathan has been informed of those that Gaz still lying low for the time being and yet to make his re-emergence. But Nathan, you were informed of a more formidable approach to dealing with this from the Imperial City and the arrival of an Imperial Inquisition, also suspecting that this stems from something unknowable. Their means and methods being very different to your own.
All right. Knowing this, I feel like Nathan would be trying to gauge the warden's temperament to this situation. I would think this obviously would not have gotten authorized without at least the Master Warden hearing about it and it being passed down through the rank and file, essentially.
Yes.
What our orders are.
All orders and details come through a almost arcane missive that itself is written in a means that requires the Warden's Master to even read it, this old piece of paper, which would otherwise appear blank. And upon reading it, it also combusts as ash just dissolves from your hands. It informs you of 3 Inquisitors from the Imperial City have been dispatched. You are under instruction to continue operations as usual. However, the terms agreed mean that they have final say in any given situation where a conflict may emerge.
So that's going to complicate matters a little bit.
The nature of the Wardens means that that's the terms that have been agreed. You can almost imagine it being delivered with a bit of a nudge and a wink. They have final say.
Of conflicts they know about.
Yes, exactly. That's what's going through Nathan's head. However, upon receiving this, it is something that Nathan is going to have to alert the imperative of, because it does directly affect the way in which we're going to work. So, obviously, need to know details are going to be given, but any less need to know details are going to be kept to himself. So basically, if you see these guys, listen to them, otherwise business as usual. And let's try to keep it away from them.
During the meantime, while the Pale Lady is absent, presumed missing, there's Sasha and back in 6 Towers. As you arrive back home, you don't have to be a polyglot to understand the various dialects of the word from one of the many dialects of Tycheros that has been carved into your doors of Tratiori.
Day. Am I going in or am I?
This is the rising home, yeah. Okay. As you've come back in from after filling in all that paperwork and doing everything, that you get home to find this scratched into the door.
Just open. Go in. Try to rest.
And inside, you notice a movement. Two shadows that seem to dive back into the darkness.
How big?
The window is open. Quick look around, you can see that the where the latch now swings loose. You can see that it's been jimmied from the outside.
I'm gonna take out my weapon. Whoever's in here, don't make this harder. And I walk further in.
The squirrel, in the darkness, you feel a hand on your arm. Don't move. The hand drops and the first figure runs. Robyn, you see a figure like hood up, dart out of the shadows.
I'm gonna try to run and slam, subdue them.
Okay, go for it. Make me that check.
Hello.
Oh.
Okay. Risky standard.
Risky standard, yes. As you do, you pin this figure up against a wall. You get a very brief look at the face. A girl probably no older than 14, smeared in coal and dust, dirt. One of the many that is drawn to the south, especially the south and the east of Six Towers, those that struggle by, and affiliated with a gang called the Tower Bells, and all girls, orphans for the most part, and predominantly, and of varying ages from prepubescent right up to sort of late teens. As she goes with this heavy boot that you can tell is at least 2 sizes too big, just kick to the shins. as you loosen, with that instinctive reaction, that's level one harm, some nasty bruising as she catches you right on the kneecap, and you feel your foot give way, and she darts out the door. The other one, Squirrel.
Yeah. While they are busy fighting and trying to escape, Squirrel is going to try to run to the door to get it first. Like the other girl go for the window, Squirrel sees it and go for the door on the opposite.
Make me that check.
Prowl?
Yes, that works.
Can I try to oppose that, or?
You absolutely can.
Okay.
You sure?
Okay, what have we got?
Oh.
You manage to, the second one gets out, but you're able to grab her, turn around, full on look at her in the face. As she stands there for a second before the door. And Squirrel. As you clatter down the stairs, out into the night, nothing of particular value, but enough, mainly going through your possessions. Sasha, you see that what they stole was predominantly food.
Okay. Valuables still here. Need to chase them.
It's
If I even could.
It's sort of limping out. You hear them 2 stories below. You hear the clattering of feet against on a wooden staircase. And it's a couple of days later where in the crossing on the bridge to of Taylor's Bridge that leads into Night Market, as Squirrel is about to go for dive into a pocket, but you feel a hand on your shoulder. Sasha. As you
again.
Hello?
Sorry?
Squirrel answer. Hello? Hi, ma'am. Do I know you? This is my mom. I was just retrieving the key for home.
You look at the...
Need a key? You need a key? Got to my apartment with no issue.
Well, oh yeah, you're that lady. Oh crap!
Yeah, save it for later.
What?
And I
Yeah.
I pick up a manacles.
Well, your windows were like so easy to break in.
Yeah.
You get bits on rocks. Should not be my problem.
You know what? Good advice. So, are you gonna come peacefully or do we need this? I shake the
Shake what?
the cuffs.
Oh, she tries to run immediately.
So at this point, it's a full-on grip. It's you just sort of like find yourself sort of shaking around. Two blue coats with a dog walking the other way. So I've got to railroad a little bit to bring you together.
Yeah, it's fine. It's perfect. Okay. What do you want?
Well, not sure yet. Be on the way to the precinct.
I mean, I have things to do, you know.
More food to steal?
In that
I
case,
have.
never mind.
You know what? Actually, I'm gonna. Yeah, sure. I'll let you go.
I'm a busy woman.
A woman?
Yeah, I'm big and an adult, totally.
Wow.
She's like around 13, 14. Probably, I don't remember how tall Sasha is, but she's probably like middle of the chest.
Sure, young lady. And we just walked it, hopefully. Unless you try to run again.
No, just being very uncooperative and with just what's the word for that?
Resistant.
Yeah, I had that imagine dragging, guys, dragging her feet.
And where are you going? Are you going to a precinct or are you going to your your investigative offices?
Yeah, there, to the basement.
Yeah, that's it. As you do,
A blue coat's leading you to a random basement. Like, that's not good. That's really not good.
It's enough that you've either seen or experienced this firsthand. You know what to do. Cover your head. Take the beating. But it never comes. Instead, Nathan, you enter into the basement. I don't know if is Gaz with you as well?
Somebody's got to keep an eye on them, which means it's not really Nathan, it's Crow, but...
Right, yeah. So as you both walk down the steps, you see this girl, table in front of her, as the contents of her jacket are being emptied. There's canned fish, and a selection of more watches than one person needs.
Yeah.
Anything else that you would like to add to your
glasses, button, ton of buttons, and cuffs that she snatched.
Cufflinks.
Probably some were from your house, Sasha, that she cut off buttons from your clothes. She likes to collect.
Glasses
So, yeah,
feels personal because they obviously are not easily made, and you can't sell them to anyone because they won't work. So you just did that to inconvenience.
This is
she was bored. She was in
the pettiest crime.
and she was bored.
The alias of Squirrel and the one who got away, Magpie, are absolutely earned.
Jeez.
Yeah, if it can be stolen, it's the adage of this gang is if it's not bolted down, steal it. If it is, steal it and the bolts. It's
as like the jacket keeps on getting emptied out, Gaz like raises an eyebrow when he sees one of the watches. Like that looks oddly familiar. Can't be.
Now,
Must
actually,
have lost it somewhere.
kind of in the same vein, but this is actually going to be more of... Alright. I would also say one of the things that comes out of Squirrel's pockets, if I could add in something, but this is actually going to be more of a tell for Squirrel.
okay.
Nathan's fine tinkering tools come out, which Crow kind of picks up and goes, and these are familiar to me, and then looks directly at Squirrel with the Spirit Warden mask.
Yeah, Squirrel was just putting the word before like showing those stuff getting emptied, but she still thinks that she can give most of it back because it doesn't have any value. But the moment what she thinks is just a warden, she picks up the tinkering tools. She just jumps out of her seat and tries to lurch towards him, and he's like, no, you give that back. That's not for you. It was given to me. You give that back. You have no right. It's not yours.
Sasha just laughs.
I'm laughing as a player, but like, Crow wouldn't laugh. I think everybody here would.
Gaz is confused. What is Squirrel hoping for in this scenario?
It's mine! Give it back!
I'm assuming you picked her up, Sasha?
Yeah, had an altercation with her the other day. My house. Anything you have to say about that? Or was
Yeah,
that food
get
yours
out of-
too? I swear, kids face.
Also, your bread was awful. You have money, right? You can afford better one.
I was gone for a while. It just gets worse. That's how food works.
Crow continues to. He lays out the tools and he starts, inspecting them, counting each one to make sure everything is there.
They've actually been looked after. Not only are they all present, certain pieces have been oiled appropriately. Probably a little bit too generous with the oil, but the attempt has certainly been made.
Flips out of here.
Well, we seem to be missing someone.
Yeah.
How would you like a bit of honest day's worth of work?
You'll give me my stuff back if I help you?
With the
She
exception
still
of...
doesn't get it.
With the exception of... Well, at this point, Crow kind of becomes a little silent. It's not his job to enforce the law, technically, so looks kind of at Sasha and goes, I'm not opposed to that, with the exception of what rightfully belongs to myself, and lifts up the tinkering tools.
You do not look like a demolition man, to be honest. She just gets really close, like, wait a minute.
Now, I will leave this up to Storyteller Fiat here. My mask is damaged, so maybe the cracks in the lenses and maybe the lighting system doesn't work. I'll leave it up to you if there's anything that can be seen once you get close.
There's a flicker of the glowing eye, and it goes out, and behind it you see you see Nathan's eye before that green yellow glow emanates once again.
Oh, so that's where you were. Great. Right? Thought you were dead? So that crazy lady the other day got you. Fine, I'm not
He
mad or
immediately
anything.
cuts her off. Crow cuts her off. Everybody, leave now. And
I just
literally raises
Gaz,
his hand.
Gaz and Sasha, are you going to leave?
Gaz looks and he's like, this is not my business. I'm gonna see if I can get a drink somewhere.
I'm
He just
gonna
walks out.
stand my ground. Lean to the desk. Not leaving you alone with this kid.
These next few moments, as Gaz leaves, Crow stares Sasha down. These next few moments are going to be important then. They do not leave this room. If they leave this room, certain measures will have to be taken. Not particularly by myself, but by the wardens at large. Needless to say, you put yourself at risk.
I've already put myself at for you.
Looks over at Squirrel. The next few moments are also going to be very important for you. No names. It's at this point, Crow will go ahead and remove the mask. Now, thankfully, Nathan didn't really hang around Six Towers very much, so may not even be remotely noticeable to Sasha. There we go. That's not really the words I wanted. Recognizable. There we go. That's the word I wanted. But no, I'm quite alive. I have returned to an old profession, as it were.
So that's why you never came to hang out? I mean, that's fine. It's not like I missed you or... It would have been the polite thing to do. You know,
Listen, I've made a lot of mistakes in my life. And I'm trying to make amends for some of them. And I can honestly say this meeting was on the list. However, we do have a bit of business we have to take care of. Let's just get through this, and Nathan somewhat loses his train of thought a little bit. He sits down in a chair, kind of takes a deep breath. Seems a little bit more tired than usual. Kind of grabs his head, rubs it a bit. It's nice to see that the plague hasn't claimed everybody.
yeah, know me. Real tough. Nothing can kill me.
Spoken like a true belle, right?
You know that now? The little ones, they listen when I tell them to do things. Sometimes, not all the times, but the last day and she's about to tell you a story about a very illegal thing that she does, and just cuts herself like. maybe another time, another place.
Nathan,
But I take good care of your stuff. Then I
Nathan,
have it back. It's fine.
Nathan kind of looks over at Sasha to see if Sasha's maybe a little bit more relaxed, realizing that this may not... Well, let's just see how Sasha feels about this current conversation going on.
I'm sitting on my seat, legs up on the desk, like playing with my nails. I don't really care. After the mask, I just like.
So, what do you say, Squirrel? We've got some business we need to handle, and we're a person down.
I mean, I'm really good at getting in tiny spaces. Sure, that can be useful.
Looks over to Sasha. I realize this might be a little bit of extra paperwork. Adding on somebody as a consultant.
Do much of it, anyways.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
Oh, it's not like you do much of it, anyways. I mean,
I filed my own set of paperwork for the wardens.
how come I didn't get to see that? You got to see mine.
I don't think you were around. That was not intentional. You can see the reports whenever you want. Mine are not encoded in any special way. Some wardens choose a different method to do it, but this is...
Sure.
You can also put in a requisitions request to the wardens for it, but I think both of us know about how well that'll go, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well,
oh, sorry.
well, if we're gonna talk business, put that back on. As soon as you put it back on, I'm gonna call Basil back here.
And
Okay. So when she calls Basil back in, you see him walk in with a black eye and a drink in one hand. You don't know where he got it, but he managed to find a drink. He just takes us away. He's like, "We done with the subterfuge? All right, get back to business."
it's sitting there. It's finally kind of you see, looking at Squirrel, you sort of see the gears turning. And it's finally she's finally kind of just noticed that this is not normal. There's one blue coat, a spirit warden, and some guy who's just gotten in a fight.
Yeah, looks
Allegedly.
like the start of a joke.
And yeah.
I brought the bar.
And as Squirrel looks from one to the other to the next.
You have just finished listening to this week's episode of Blades in the Dark, What Happens in the Dusk, part of the Domain Gaming, written and told by Livespark. A special thanks to you, the listener, and if you wish to continue supporting us, subscribe, like, and share. As always, comments are welcomed. Until the next chapter.
You've heard the silent song.
We all have the legend, the curses.
Some foolishness about a world as it was meant to be.
A city of ghosts.
An illusion that you can begin again. How much would you give for silence?